Welcome to P3W, Professionally Profane Pro Wrestling. We're here for episode 8, as we had a first surprise live episode, I suppose, on a Friday evening. Usually we would do this on Saturday, but we have some things going on tomorrow, so we are going live tonight. And so we had a pretty stacked, a pretty eventful SmackDown. We'll say that. Although SmackDown, you need to cut down on the recaps and the bullshit. Like, you can have a 2-hour show if you just cut that crap out. The whole last hour was so much less stuff. But anyways, we had from an interesting standpoint, we had we found out who Randy Orton was talking to on the phone. We had Sami Zayn's arc continuing, in which now he's willing to win in any way and is completely, he's trying to still be good, but while doing bad things. So interesting to see where that goes. We had Aleister Black defeating Matt Cardona. We had Alexa Bliss and Charlotte Flair defeating Bayley and Lyra Valkyria. And we had Trick Willie coming out with Lil Yachty, which was cool, except that when Lil Yachty does certain noises, it makes me want to blow my freaking brains out, because the pitch of his voice is not friendly for the ears.
I had to turn the volume down because I was like, "Oh, okay."
Yeah,
I thought my pitch was bad.
No, dude, it's nothing like that, dude. He could crack windows with that shit, like, for real.
Surprisingly, he could rap though with that voice.
Yeah, I know. He has an odd voice for a rapper, but he makes it work, I guess.
Do you like his music?
I like some of it. Does it be cold like Minnesota? You need to stay up off the streets. Okay, we don't need to do that, but I mess with it a little bit. That song rocks. Minnesota is dope. It goes hard. But anyway, let's get to these results. We'll start off the bat, I guess, with probably the hottest thing that happened, if you ask me, and that is Randy Orton came to the ring and, kind of was like, shout out to my hometown in a weird way. He did it sideways, Then went into heel Randy, where he's like, but I'm not doing it for you. And I'm doing it for, I think he had his family in attendance. He's like, I'm doing it for them. I'm doing it, for me, blah, blah, blah. And, then Cody Rhodes' music hit, and he came to the ring. And while him and Randy were going at it, so out of nowhere, like, the way that he did it was funny, because, like, all of a sudden, Pat McAfee just walks into the picture and punts Cody right in the dick, right in the balls, dude. And it was like, all right, like, this is one way to go about things. And that's when we found out that Pat McAfee was the man that that Randy was talking to the entire time. And not only that, so, like, Randy, I like the way that they did this. Like, Randy proceeded to beat down Cody, like, just worked him over little by little, while Pat cut what is, I firmly believe, is the best promo he's ever cut in his life.
Oh, bro. Yeah.
Yes. Can we, and let's just start there, because a lot of people on X, everyone's a bunch of losers and a bunch of fucking crybabies. They're whining about Pat because it doesn't make sense. And, and then some people I seen said the promo wasn't good. Get your head out of your ass. Respectfully, or disrespectfully, actually. Get your head out of your ass.
Yeah,
like,
100%.
It was a great promo. And I love where he took this whole storyline, and that's Randy hates the new generation. He doesn't want to watch 5'5" guys doing 45-minute matches, all these flips, when you've got the alpha male of our species, Randy Orton, right there. And I think that's a great storyline.
That's great.
He said Cody represents everything that's wrong with today's WWE. And man, Pat really laid it in great. He understands the business very well, and he knew that he couldn't just go halfway with this heel shit. Like he went full on. He dropped an F-bomb. Dude, bro. Pat, I thought only The Rock was allowed to do that. Like Pat McAfee's joining Dwayne Johnson territory in terms of what he's allowed to do on WWE TV.
Yeah.
Pretty insane. I wonder if they told him he could do that, or if he just went off
the rip.
Yeah, which
off the rip.
Ballsy move, my friend. Nothing but respect for it, to be honest with you, because it worked. What did he say? He was like, Randy Orton, he's fucking something. Damn it. I can't remember exactly what he said. But
he said the fucking business.
He's here to save the fucking business. That's right. So in a way, the only minor criticism I have is that he's kind of stealing John Cena's gimmick from last year. Just a little bit.
Yeah. I mean, here, to dive into it a little bit too, like people were talking about like it was like the worst promo, or it was just a terrible reveal. It's like it wasn't Travis Scott. I'm not trying to like justify it either, but it wasn't Travis Scott. They did a shit job of that last time.
They did.
I don't know where this is gonna go, but I do like that he's not coming back to be on the announce table. He's gonna do a little bit more probably. I can see him as like a manager.
Oh yeah, like, he's got the gift of gab.
And also, you look at this guy, like, just moving away from wrestling at one point here, for what I'm trying to say is, though, but Pat with his TV show, like, he did it differently. He's got, like, all his buds hanging out on the show, and, like, he's attracting stars to come on the show, and he did it differently. Even the stuff that he talks about or the way they do everything, it's so, like, unique.
Real. It's real.
Yeah. So, like, for him to do what he's doing right now, I think everyone's just pissed off that it was Pat. But I guess, like, here's the thing that I want to ask. Like, we always get the same storyline in WWE. We know how it goes. It's like, oh, there's a big reveal, and it ends up being, like, someone that you expect it to be. Then you don't want the element of surprise. And the 1 minute they do a surprise, it's, like, not who you wanted, so you're pissed off. It's like, what's that stupid thing where it's like, oh, she's a 10, but it kind of feels like that with this, where it's like, oh, it was great, but it was Pat.
Yeah.
Or you hate it because it was Pat.
Right.
I think it's going to go well. I think there'll probably be a bigger reveal. Maybe it's just not him. I don't know if it makes sense if it's The Rock that shows up. I mean, The Rock and Cody have their own history, but even if it doesn't, and it's just something for Cody and Randy to kind of push, then so be it.
Yeah. I'm with you on that stuff. I don't understand. It's like sometimes I just wish that more people were willing to take the ride. Like so many, I feel like there's a lot of fans that were like, well, that like prior to the reveal, or like if it's not this guy, then it sucks. They've predetermined it.
Yes.
And that's dumb to me. First of all, you're setting yourself up for failure. Like the point of what WWE is doing is to try and surprise you. That should be their goal. Now sometimes things need to make sense, but this didn't necessarily have to. Anyone could have been on the other end of that phone. It could have been anyone who's a friend of Randy. And Pat McAfee does work in the realm of he's a shit talker. He's loudmouth. He's clearly he's a fan of the old era. We've known that. Like he got inspired to be in this business because of the Attitude Era, right? Everyone knows that backstory. It makes sense that he'd be like, "Hey, dude, like you're Randy freaking Orton. Like, what are you doing?" And he's got the gift of gab to be able to carry this thing through. He could talk, he'll be able to carry his own weight in the promo battle and stuff like that. So
and it was in the article, like talk about setting yourself up for like
talk about that. Tell the people
disappointment.
About that.
Yeah, like you want to talk about setting yourself up for disappointment. They gave you a list on the website. Even if you don't go to WWE.com and you're reading the stuff online, maybe that got missed, but come on. They like on the bottom, they had like honorable mentions or like random. They had Rikishi on there, super random. John Cena was on there. Yeah, that might have made sense, but again, John Cena is supposed to be retired. So then, even if it was John Cena, yeah, but also let's say, okay, let's just say hypothetically it was John Cena. People are gonna bitch about it because they're gonna be like, "Oh, he lost to Gunther. He's not supposed to come back." And it's like, okay, there's so many rules when things don't go your way. And also, Pat's name was last on that list too.
It was just who did everyone want it to be?
I think people wanted it more so to be like The Rock. I think they wanted it to be his dad.
His dad wouldn't have been better than this.
Some people wanted Vince. Some people wanted Steph, but then he said he on the phone when there was that video that dropped the other day. So obviously it was going to be Steph. Then people started to think it was Triple H. Then they thought it was going to be an authority angle. To be honest, if it's an authority angle at some point, I'm here for it. If they do it a little bit differently. I remember people hated the authority, but you tuned in every single week. And if that's the goal, then that's the goal. But it's so interesting because we're like talking about this. And it's like one side, there's like, you do like it. And there's another side where you're like, I don't like it. But the parts that you don't like it don't outweigh your entire frustrations to just be like, oh, this sucks. I'm gonna throw things. I'm gonna slap the water bottle off the table like Sammy used to do 3 weeks ago.
Yeah, I agree with you, man. So I guess I didn't have an expectation of who it was. Like, I'm the kind of guy that wants to take the ride, dude. That's why I got off the dirt sheets. Like, I don't look at them anymore. Like, I don't, because it ruins it for me. I just want to have a good time. I want to be taken for a ride. I want to be told a story. I'll decide afterwards if the story's worth telling or if it was worth the ride, right? Like, that's the other thing is I don't lose my shit from week to week. Like, you know, I give my thoughts. We're here every week giving our thoughts, but like I reserve my ultimate judgment for the end. When once the story is all told, I'll talk about whether or not it was good or not. Like,
so you know what's really funny about this too, just to kind of tie that loop on the article on WWE.com. I'm just reading it right now here on the top, and it's like WWE.com and Pat McAfee show contributor Mark Caboli comes up with who might be or who might have been on the telephone with Randy. So
what's Pat? Like, Pat contributed to that, and he was the guy.
I guess the guy that wrote the article is part of that team, right? So on this list, it says number 1 was Cowboy. Number 2 was Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. 3 was Ric Flair, who I actually I kind of would love to see it to be Rick, but at the same time, like,
I just don't know if don't know if he's just so old. How would it come across?
This still kind of works in some ways.
Yeah.
4th was Kevin Owens. 5th was Randy himself, which I think would have been hilarious if it just turned out to be him talking to himself. But I'm sure people would have still hated it. So the wild cards were Rikishi, Haku, Batista, John Cena, and Pat McAfee.
Okay. Well, they told you right there. It was a wild card. I mean,
so many people are going to now start looking more deeper into everything that gets printed now. And this is going to be so much more funny. Oh, man.
Yeah, no, it's kind of brilliant by them to kind of bury the truth right there. And, you know, now people are going to be like, oh, you know, they're going to be looking at these articles and be trying to suss out the truth. Overall, man, I thought it was great. I thought Pat really did, like I said, he cut a good promo. It was effective. I believe it. I believe in you know, I believe that he's telling a truth in a way. He's telling a truth for a lot of Attitude Era fans. Like, that they, you know, like there are fans who miss the older style of wrestling where it was larger than life characters and like, you know, like I know people that are like, you know, I'm tired of watching this dude who looks like he could be, you know, cleaning or serving me fries at McDonald's, I want to see larger than life characters. Understood. Like, that's what wrestling was for a long time. And it's just gotten more inclusive because, also that lifestyle that helped wrestlers become so huge was killing them. So, kind of.
Let me ask you one thing, because obviously you've been watching for a long time. So have I. There's definitely things that I didn't like in the Attitude Era, but also like currently, if you had to name like 2 things that you absolutely do not like, would you be able to name them right now, or do you need some time for that one?
2 things I absolutely do not like.
Yeah, like if you had to just put 2
about this era,
just the product right now, this era.
Yes, I don't like how often certain stars are protected. I think that there could be more parity with the wins and losses, because there's a lot of times where certain guys are in matches, and I'm like, he's never going to lose tonight. Like, he's never going to lose tonight. Sometimes I guess there was more upsets. That's yes. Because it happens in sports. Upsets
like
happen all the time. Yes, like like Cody gets protected so much, and I think that you could really spurt some heels by letting them once in a while get a victory over a guy like Cody Rhodes. That's probably one thing, and the other thing would maybe be that there's not there's more probably that there's not more people that are better on the mic. The Attitude Era really had a lot of people that were great on the stick. Even if they weren't great wrestlers, there was a lot of great smack talkers. Like, you could just even look at a guy like Road Dogg, who could go get on the mic, the Road Dogg, Jesse James, the badass Billy Gunn, the whole thing.
Yeah, exactly.
So those are 2 things, but like there's other things that are much better about today than the old days. And one of them is match quality. People glorify the Attitude Era, but the matches were shit. I mean, they weren't good.
There was only like the bigger ones that were good.
Right. And they told a story. Honestly, I would argue it was really the main card or the middle card, like the middle of the card, like the Kurt Angle, Chris Benoit, Chris Jericho, Eddie Guerrero. Those guys were putting out good matches. But like, if you watch like The Rock versus Undertaker would have objectively not been a very good match in 1998. Like, it would have been good because they're big stars, and that's why you care, because they're huge stars. And so everything they do, you're like tuned in. But from like a match quality standpoint,
just to piggyback on what you were talking about earlier, because I don't want to forget this thought, the surprises or the upsets. One of them was like when The Rock got pinned on a show. I think it was like the Hurricane or something, and you could just hear like JR and them just like screaming, like, what did this just happen? Like, there was that excitement where you're just like, The Rock just lost a match on like SmackDown.
I think, the Hurricane beat him in some way. I can't remember if it was via pin. I think he did get a pinfall.
That was a quick roll up or something like that. I can't remember it, but
another one was I think Shelton Benjamin beat Triple H at one point.
Yeah,
something like that.
I think that was when the draft started to happen, and then Shelton was like a pick, and then he had like a match with him. And was it like the week before, or was it the week after he faced like Shawn Michaels and they had like that crazy match?
Yeah, that was like Shelton Benjamin had like a little push there.
The gold standard.
He wasn't the gold standard when he got when he did that though.
I just mean like he was the gold standard after. Yeah.
The angle with his mom was brilliant, and it's a shame it didn't go longer. Like, the Mama's Boy angle is so great. Like, that'd be something I wish they would bring back. A Mama's Boy character, that'd be hilarious. It'd be gold. You have to have a special kind of mom though, or you have to bring in like an actual what's that? Cody Rhodes. It could be good. Maybe it'd be harder for him just because he's pushed as such a strong character, but I just don't know if you could use his actual mom either. Like, now that we know who his mom is, like, his mom wouldn't be a captivating character,
Yeah,
she's kind of
it
playing.
was the Hurricane beating The Rock. It was March 10th on Raw. Stone Cold came in, distracted him, and
That
then
was when
Hurricane.
that was when Shane Helms and The Rock did some of the best backstage segments for like 4 weeks. The Rock and Hurricane were going back and forth backstage, and The Rock. That was when The Rock just came back from doing Scorpion King, and he was like, "The Rock's a real superhero. You aren't a real superhero." He was talking a bunch of shit. I actually watched this whole like. There's a YouTube video that chronicles that, like the whole, like it shows you all the events.
Yeah,
It's actually phenomenal. I've watched it recently.
So
But
funny you mentioned that. I'm not going to talk too long about this, but the Chronicles thing was good because like I've been watching WWE since WWF, I should say, since I was 6, but I actually took a pause during COVID because there was a couple of times where I was just like watching and I'm like, the energy's not there. It just doesn't feel the same because like the TVs and stuff like that, right?
it was
So
hard. It was hard to watch.
Yeah, and I stopped watching, and my friend would always text me and be like, "I know you're not watching WWE right now, but like this is like a cool storyline that's going on," and like he'd kind of fill me in. I'd like watch on YouTube here and there, but the biggest thing was like when the bloodlines started to come in, and they really started to merge that. That's when I started to get back in, and I was hooked. But it was cool watching that because even like if you date back to when Seth Rollins had his own little group as well, and with like Buddy Murphy, like it was kind of weird at the time.
The Monday Night Messiah, baby.
But it was a cool the guy doesn't get enough credit for the amount of times he has to reinvent himself.
He's a chameleon.
I know people don't like this guy, but he's just like how effective as Chris Jericho was.
That's literally what I was going to say. I was going to say he's the modern day Chris Jericho.
Because he's been able to reinvent himself. And like, yeah, maybe it's not always like the best like revamp, but
you can't hit it out of the park every single time.
He still does it. Like,
yeah.
How many people would have just taken their bags and just left?
Yeah. Or like how many people would have like if they tried to do that with them, would have just like went down the shitter, like lost all their star power, their luster, because they completely botched one of the characters and now they can't rebound.
And I hated Seth at one point because I was like, bro, really? I can't get behind. I couldn't get behind it because I felt like it was kind of the same character in a way. I absolutely hated the laugh.
The Joker character?
Yeah, I hated the obnoxious outfits.
I love the outfits. I love the outfits.
But then there were certain times where like I really liked the laugh because it was just like perfect. Mm-hmm. It had like that childish feel that you would be like, you'd want to like react that way to someone that was just like trying to beef with you. So it was entertaining. So then I started to like him. But yeah, like, again, this is WWE. You're going to go through phases where like you absolutely love the guy. You hate the guy. I remember when the whole WrestleMania thing, I fucking hated The Rock. I was so like bought into this whole idea where I'm just like, I wanted Rock and Roman as well. But I hated that it affected the guys that were like,
same.
There.
Yeah.
Like, because go ahead.
I loved that they pushed back. Like, it was supposed to be Rock Roman. I love that the WWE called an audible because the fans were pissed. It's funny to think about that now. The whole "We Want Cody" movement, like this, so it shows how fickle and short. Yeah, like how short the attention spans are of WWE fans. But
but that's me too then, because like I wanted the Rock and Roman, but I didn't want it to happen that way. But yeah, because big Rock fan, but at the same time, I'm like, I know he's into like the movies and doing what he does there. So like for me, I was like, I didn't feel like he was going to continue to be there. Like anytime if he showed up tonight on SmackDown, we'd be going nuts.
Yeah, of course.
But then the fear is like, are you going to repeat what you did last time? Because I feel like he's gonna make up for it. I don't know when, but he will. There's no way. Again, this is not a shot at The Rock, but The Rock is such a lovable like character in life. Like people absolutely like go nuts. They cry when they see him.
Yeah.
To be honest, I'd probably cry too. He's my childhood hero.
Probably the most famous man in the world right now.
Exactly, but I do not think that he wants people to hate him, nor do I think people,
he desperately wants to be liked.
But I also don't think he wants to be like remembered for that in WWE.
Like he just want to be remembered for just being a wrestler.
No, that last part that he participated in WWE.
Oh,
how everything went. Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like he would want to ride off into the sunset as a good guy.
Yeah, or at least give the fans something really good to be like, oh man, he was a badass. Because like that final boss character was badass.
It was a great character. And a crazy like addition to what already was like an overwhelming obstacle in Roman Reigns. You know, he had all of these different things that you had to go through in order to beat him. And that was actually my criticism of the Bloodline at the end of its existence, was just that it felt like every Roman match ended the same way, which was like you had to get through all of these different things. And because of all of these different things, the opponent would end up distracted and they'd lose. Like, it was always like Roman never won clean for like the last like 22 months of his title reign or something shit crazy. Like, so I was starting to be like, come on, man, like do something different. But you know, that's also part of, you know, someone having a 4-year title reign or whatever it was that he had.
Yeah. You're just trying to get by, but you're still going to carry it in a way where like it's not going to ruin its allure. And it did.
It's amazing that it happened. I mean, I don't know if we're ever going to see another title reign that long. I wouldn't doubt if we don't. It's a long time. It's a long time to hold the title.
We might have gray hair.
I know, right? I imagine if it happened right now, like, dude, that's like someone holding the title. I'm 35. I'll be 40 when they lose it. It's nuts. Like.
Maybe Ova beats Brock and doesn't lose after that.
If someone's gonna go for a title reign that long, a guy like Obafemi would make a lot of sense. Like,
or Gunther if they do it the right way.
I like Gunther's long title reigns. A lot of people were mad about his IC title. I loved it. I loved it.
You know what I loved? Yeah, you know what I loved about it too, because it was just banger matches.
Yeah,
he didn't really like cheat to win either, which gave it a nice feel. Like,
but okay, we're reminiscing a lot here.
I know. So, we got to do another show for reminiscing.
Yeah, we really do. But let's go through.
Let's jump back. Yeah, let's jump back.
All right, so we'll move past the Randy Orton, Pat McAfee thing. I think we gave enough thoughts there. So then we get to Michin versus Rhea Ripley, and I mean, you sent me a text during this match. You're like, what has Michin done to show that she could last this long with Rhea Ripley? Really nothing. I won't share my response with the crowd. But
just so I don't get misquoted on that, I feel like she's the more talented one now out of the three of them.
Michin?
Yes, she is very talented. She doesn't get the right rub. This match was nice to have, but I just didn't like the fact that like they had a period of like 2-3 minutes where she was just like taking it to Rhea. I know there was outside interference and all that stuff, but like, come on, it's Rhea Ripley. Like, do you already portray her? You portray her as this big star. So like, she should not be getting the business from her for that long. It should have been like short, like parts of it, and then more outside distraction, which allowed her to take over. But yeah, I just like when Michin had her in the corner and she's like, Rhea Ripley, like the mocking part, like I was fine with that, but I was just like, it's out of character because we haven't seen her dominate a match. That's my take.
No. Yeah, I guess you got to say at the same time that like it kind of goes with the character turn. When when you're a face, you tend to take a lot of the damage during a match, and then you have your big comeback. And when you're when you're a heel, you have more of the offense. So that's some of it. But I still hear what you're saying. I agree. I maybe agree with you that Michin's probably the best of them right now. I obviously think Jade has the most potential, but I think she's still, rounding into her game, especially on the mic. She has gotten better in the ring. Like she's definitely come a ways since when she got here originally, dude. She was bad. She was not good. I couldn't believe how bad she was, considering how long she had that title in AEW. It's like, how do you not be good at wrestling? You were the TBS champion for however long, but overall, I mean, so Rhea got the win, right? She did get the win, right? Yeah, she got the tap out win with the I can't remember what they're calling it.
The move that she hasn't used in a long time, but also is because Io came out later on too, right? So
yeah, so she gets the win, and she gets jumped by B-Fab immediately. She initially takes out Michin and B-Fab, but then I hate when faces do this. She just starts staring at Jade Cargill like the other two aren't down behind her, and then they get up and beat her up again. I'm just like, oh my God, pay attention to your surroundings. Like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
Get out of there. But no, so she gets beat up and, taking the beating. Then Io Sky comes to the rescue, and they clean house, send them off. They do a backstage interview afterwards, and Io's like, I've always got Rhea's back. I swear I thought they were going to make out. Their dynamic is really weird, like just the way they talk. It's just like, you guys, like, I can't. I feel like you guys are insinuating that you guys have something going on here, but I know it's all in character and everything. But, I mean, what did you think? Did you have any? I mean, it did a little something for me, but, yeah.
What, the women's match?
Yeah, I mean, overall, it was kind of meh. The women's match was okay. But the overall story, I mean, it didn't really move it along for me.
Same here.
They're really struggling with that one. Whereas like Liv Morgan, go ahead.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's one match that like I'm just like whatever about. I was hyped about it because I thought it was gonna be like two like big stars against each other. I think the group I think threw a wrench in it in a different direction.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I don't think they're doing a great job of making it feel like it's two titans. Whereas like you've got this Obafemi and Brock Lesnar feud, the way they're doing their build.
Exactly.
Excellent. And
like what was the point of adding them? Like, is Jade not believable as like a strong star?
I guess that they could all stand at ringside at WrestleMania. I don't know.
You know, would have been nice, or what they could have probably recycled is just maybe Rhea gets jumped by two people in hoodies, and this time it's not males. It could be this. I think at the end of this year, we're probably going to have like 2 or 3 more hooded like assassins, I should say. Make it sound more scary.
Assassins.
Like two girls just show up, just like how Becky did it.
Why do you think that they're going to do that?
No, I'm saying they should have done that instead of just them randomly showing up and beating up Rhea on like SmackDown like they did like a few weeks ago.
Yeah, the reveal could have been done better. It was very clumsy and felt very rushed. Like, I don't know, man. We'll see if they can get. They've only got a couple weeks to make it better. But like, whereas Liv Morgan and Stephanie Vaquera took a giant step forward with their stuff and Liv's promo on Raw, this did not have the same effect. It hasn't from week to week. So it's a shame. We'll see if they can get their mojo together. But then, and I know we won't spend much time on this. Tama Tonga versus Uncle Howdy, and like just skip it to the end. Like Solo came to the ring and tried to distract Uncle Howdy. Ultimately, like Tama Tonga got mad because he didn't want the help of the lantern, and because of that, Uncle Howdy hit him with his sister Abigail, and it was game over. And then afterwards, like Solo was like, "What's wrong with you?" Tama Tonga's like, "We don't need the lantern." Solo went to go grab the lantern, and Tama stopped him, and Uncle Howdy got it. And that's that with the lantern, which is a really, after all of this, like that's how they pay that off. I don't know, man. It's not moving me at all. At all. I seen there's like a report that Y6 aren't going to have a match at WrestleMania.
Good.
There's some people that are really mad about that on X. Fans are weird, man. Fans are weird.
I have no clue what this fucking love is for the Wyatt Six. They're a bunch of mid-card stars that made a crazy impact on the first episode, and did nothing after that. Their story has been so boring. Bo is talented. He looked good in the ring. Like, that match was good. But, like, they're all mid. Like, there's nothing. That's what I hate about this whole group, was like the whole, man, I'm so flustered. I can't even say words. It's stupid. I honestly think the payoff for this was so bad. And you know me, I'm not always negative. Like, if I don't like something, then like, I don't like it, whatever. Like, I move past it. But this one was dumb. Like, the MFTs look fucking stupid. The Wyatt Six look fucking stupid. Like, explain to me why this lantern has such a special effect. You know?
They just haven't done a great job of building it. They haven't done enough with it. It's the one, like I've made the comparison before to Undertaker's urn, but the difference was Undertaker was built up over a period of years with that urn ringside, so that by the time they started messing with it, it had meaning. They haven't done that with the lantern.
Yeah.
It's supposed to represent Bo. I think that they've got fanboys on like, I think the people that are like over the top fans of the Wyatt Six are people that were like really into Bray, and they've like just transferred their loyalties over to be like really into the Wyatt Six. And I just don't, I can't equate it. Like, I was really excited for the Wyatt Six when it happened, as we've talked about, but the vibe that Bray had isn't there. It's just not there. So, are you okay, Fayyaz? The Wyatt Six came and got Fayyaz. He got. Uncle Howdy captured his soul, and he's gone. So I'm just going to continue with the show by myself. And R.I.P. to Fayyaz. You know, we loved him. We all did. But, you know, I'm going to move on from the Uncle Howdy stuff because, honestly, no one cares about it. So, Trick Williams and Sami Zayn. We've got a very interesting dynamic here between these guys. So, Sami Zayn, before we started backstage where Sami Zayn ran into Nick Aldis. Nick Aldis glazed him for finding a way to get onto WrestleMania. But, you know, he's like, all right, I'm going to go to the ring and celebrate. But then as he's about to, you know, Nick Aldis sends him on his way. But before he can get to the ring, we hear the theme song for Trick Williams. And immediately I got hype and everybody got hype. And, yeah, he came to the ring. And he didn't come alone. He came with Lil Yachty. You know, so regardless of what you think about Lil Yachty, he came out there. And they gave a speech about Sami Zayn, you know, winning the title at WrestleMania and how Trick Williams is going to win the title from him because he's a big star. And they made a bunch of jokes about him being the gingerbread man. You know, they made a lot of ginger jokes. I'll say that they're walking a fine line with the gingerbread man jokes. I think the gingerbread man is actually a funny nickname, but if they play and they harp on that too much, they run the risk of losing people with that. Now, I know some people are going to say that that's hateful because I know that there are people that have redheads in real life that get called ginger, and it is a form of bullying and all that stuff. I think it was a way to try and get heat on Trick Williams, even though, you know, because Trick is getting massively cheered. So if they can do something that would get him massively booed, then that would probably be preferable to them. But I don't know. I feel like they started to plant the seeds tonight of their coming of Trick Williams being cheered and Sami Zayn being booed because the crowd was not with Sami Zayn. They were not with him. They were booing him from the moment he came out. And I guess it's because of what happened last week where he had to get assistance or he got, he hit Carmelo Hayes during that match to Fayyaz. Are you really not there anymore? I thought he was here. Whatever, man. Not sure what's going on with Fayyaz. Let's see here. There he is.
You probably didn't see the private chat.
Oh no, I was still talking, so I did not.
I just had to step. Yeah, I just had to step out. I'm back.
All right, cool. So, I'll backpedal a little bit. So with Trick Williams, how do you feel about all the ginger jokes?
Redundant. It was funny. It was funny in the beginning, and then it started to be like repetitive.
Yeah, that's why I was like, they're. If you lean on it too much, it doesn't come off well. It starts to seem like you're not creative. So, I was very interested that the crowd actually was turning on Sammy. I didn't have faith that they change locations every week. So you really wonder if the crowd in attendance this week is going to go along with the storyline, or if they're just going to default and cheer for him because that's what he's been as a good guy.
Yeah.
And no, man, it seems like they were really mad at him for winning over Carmelo last week. I also thought it was interesting that Nick Aldis acted like Sammy won on his own. Like Nick Aldis was like, "You did what you do best. You get into WrestleMania. You do what Sami Zayn does." Like, Nick, did you watch the show, buddy? Because like Trick Williams is out there and clocked Carmelo Hayes one. But
one thing I just wanted to say, like sometimes like that's the one thing that I get annoyed about with the show is just like some of the hooks that they go for, or like where it's supposed to connect, just doesn't make sense. Like, I don't know if it's like the writers just don't have a clue. Not to go completely off topic, but sometimes I think like these writers are not creative enough to really give a proper like storyline there. Like, it almost feels like they have no creativity. I don't know if like the people that are part of that just don't have like the wrestling magic.
What do you mean in terms of Carmelo, in terms of like the Hayes, Trick Williams, Sami Zayn? Like, what are you referencing? Like, what isn't good? Like, what isn't doing it for you?
The Nick Aldis parts with the Sami Zayn segment, the Sami Zayn talking about like fairness, or like how like things didn't work out for him this time and this and that. It's just like, I understand it's like a character involvement. And then even like the Lil Yachty thing, everything just feels very off.
The Lil Yachty thing is strictly because of WrestleMania.
Yeah, I know, I understand. They're involving more celebrities and stuff like that, but I just feel like the overall like connections are so weird. Like, I would have been just fine tonight when they had that segment on SmackDown if Nick Aldis just came out and was like, "You know what, Sammy? You won because of outside interference. This match at WrestleMania is now going to be a triple threat." That would have probably went over way better than having this match tonight. Like, I would have loved it for Sammy to get more pissed off at the fact that he just won the US title. He's supposed to have a WrestleMania match with Trick Williams. Not Carmelo, Trick Williams. But Carmelo gets inserted in it because Sammy cheated to win. That would have been better.
Okay. I feel you. So like Sammy being like ultimately being like a good guy and like accepting the match. I agree that was probably, if you want Sammy to turn heel, like he probably should have been like, "No, I'm not. I agree. It should have been Nick Aldis that did that and not Sammy.
Even that would have been fine too. I agree with you.
But it's, I know they're maybe trying to slow burn the Sami Zayn turn, but like it would have made sense right then and there for Sammy to be like, "No, I want my spot at WrestleMania," and have him be a little selfish. Yeah. But, he took the match. Interestingly enough, I was surprised that he didn't like talk at all about the crowd kind of booing him, and like he didn't talk about his reaction at all. Because Sammy would have a decent gripe here, just to say he could say like we all know that he has been trying his hardest to win a title to get his place on WrestleMania, and now we're turning our backs on him because he took the opportunity when it was there. Where was our where were we at with our moral compass when we all cheered for Randy Orton when he beat who was it in the chamber? He beat Cody Rhodes to go to WrestleMania, and nobody booed him for taking advantage of that opportunity.
Yes.
Right? Like you could have easily like Sammy would have a very good gripe to say that we're being, hypocrites. We cheer for Randy when he takes advantage of an opportunity, but we're mad at him for taking advantage of his. And no, screw us. He's not going to give Carmelo a title shot. It would have been good to write it that way. So,
yeah.
Ultimately, I think where they're going to go is going to be fine. But I think that they have it has been sloppy, the execution of all of this.
That's what I mean. And I don't know if that's like a creative issue or that's a story writing issue. I don't know I'm no expert. I'm just saying from as a fan, and what I'm seeing is just like some of it just doesn't add up. But I think that match is going to be great anyways, whatever they end up doing.
You said it's going to end up great?
I think the match will end up great, yeah.
Yeah. Do you think Trick is going to go over?
I freaking hope so. I do not want to see another Sami Zayn does not need... First of all, he didn't even need to win the U.S. title. He does not need a WrestleMania win. He already main evented WrestleMania with his best friend, Kevin Owens. Might I add, on night one of WrestleMania.
I agree.
Yeah. And then you get to have the U.S. title and you get to win. I think more people should get more upset that Carmelo is not on the WrestleMania card than what other star can you say that you are would be upset that is not on the main card for Mania?
Aleister Black, for me, that he's not on it bothers me.
That's fair.
I agree with Melo though, and I think Ilya Dragunov too. So I don't know where they're gonna go with this. I feel like I kind of want the field to be expanded, but it doesn't feel they're going that way.
No.
They've only got 2 weeks. I do feel like Melo could still be added as a triple threat though, especially after tonight.
Did they stop doing the Andre the Giant challenge?
No, they always do it on the SmackDown, because SmackDown's always the day before Mania, and it's always in the same spot as Mania. So
wonderful. So Bo Dallas is probably going to win that one.
Uncle Howdy. His name is Uncle Howdy.
Whatever.
Get it right, dude. Come on. Step your game up.
Oh, man.
I'm just messing with you. I'm yanking your chain. I feel you, dude. I don't know. Aleister Black feels like a very likely. Where do you keep going? I'm lonely. Aleister Black feels like okay. Aleister Black feels like a very likely person to win the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal, though. Although I don't know if I love that whole concept anymore, but they're still doing it. So, we'll move on from. I think we could probably talk about it briefly at the end here too, because they have a match coming. So we'll move on though for where we're at in the night. And now is Matt Cardona versus Aleister Black. They had a little bit of a run-in earlier in the show and backstage, and it resulted in a match being set up for them tonight. And overall, it was a decent little match. It was, you could tell that they haven't worked together before, right? And so they were a little bit sloppy, I feel, or they're getting warmed up to each other. Ended up working together pretty decent, but Black ended up getting the win in a pretty cool, surprising fashion, kind of out of nowhere. Hit a black mask, which is really going to become kind of the out of nowhere thing that I do you want me to add you? I see you, but I can't. I'm not sure if you want me to add you. Oh, okay, there.
My connection. I switched my monitors off. That's why I got kicked out of here.
No problem, man. So
technical difficulties.
But so yeah, Aleister Black got to win out of nowhere with a black mask out of nowhere. I feel like when Randy Orton retires, that the black mask could maybe take its place as like the finisher that gets hit out of nowhere, and it's so clean, dude. I love that.
How old is Aleister Black, anyways?
I think he's kind of old.
Jesus. Oh, he's 40.
Yeah.
Bro, what is with WWE and all these? Again, no.
What's wrong with him being 40?
They're all in better shape than I am. I'm just saying that the main event has 4 guys. Like the 4 guys that are supposed to be in the main event are like older.
Yeah, it takes you a while to build up that star power, baby. Not, I don't know.
Yeah, I get it. Trust me, I don't think there's anyone that's bigger than those guys, but do we have to have this many older guys? Like,
I think the younger generation's coming, dude. But that the older generation is kind of they're in a weird spot where like they're not over the hill yet, but they're getting to the finish line. So I mean, you won't see too many more WrestleManias with. I mean, how many more years is CM Punk really going to wrestle? Like I don't know. Randy says if he could do another 10, that he will, and that'd be incredible. Like if he actually did another 10, by the time he retired, like his career would be insane to look back on. Just how long it would have gone.
Similar to the guy that you hate, LeBron James, but you got to still say the same thing, like longevity. It's a different sport. Before you say anything, it's a different sport, but you will appreciate the longevity of someone when it's all said and done.
You make me throw up. I hate that guy. I'm gonna off myself. But before I decide to end it all, because we're talking about LeBron James, we can. I mean, do you have any thoughts? I guess so. We've got 2 tag matches coming up. I'm gonna bundle them together. I like that you change your thing that Uncle Howdy is mid. I don't even know if he's mid, man. I'll bundle together these 2 tag teams. So Lyra Valkyria and Bayley lost to Charlotte Flair and Alexa Bliss. Then the Irresistible Forces jumped them and beat them up after the match. Then you've got R-Truth and Damian Priest, who ended up beating Kid Wilson and The Miz after some Danhausen tomfoolery.
That was hilarious.
Yes. Danhausen's continuously like one of the funniest parts of the show.
The best part was like the lights go off and he runs and they turn like right when the cameras turn back on and the lights, you still see him running. That killed me. I'm like, bro, he could have easily just disappeared and we would have like not seen him run, but they added the running part. That was hilarious. And then the referee with the arm.
Oh, dude, that was wild. So I know that there's probably people on the IWC that were bitching about that. I thought it was hilarious. You just gotta suspend your. We're watching pro wrestling, man. Suspend your disbelief. Bro. If you can believe that, if you can suspend it for 2 guys that are giving each other haymakers and not getting knocked out the whole match, then you can.
So, I'm just gonna say this because I know we've got a couple people watching this too. Stay off X when you watch the show, because even when you see segments that you hate, going on X just amplifies it, and then you get more angry. I stopped, me and you were both texting each other during the show and made a couple posts on the X account, but then there was at one point where I was like, you know what, the show's been kind of going downhill since like the Pat McAfee thing. I'm gonna put my phone away. I'm just gonna watch the show without like any like distractions or voices in my head. So I enjoyed the show. I didn't think it was terrible. I mean, every week it's terrible according to everybody, but yet they still show up every day and still watch the show. Like, I don't understand. When are you going to get to a point where you're just going to be like, I'm not going to watch it? If it's so shit. Also, the nerve of that one guy, I'm not going to even say his name because he doesn't need to be mentioned on our show. But the fact that he even had to talk about how bad the show was, and then he had to go at us publicly, it's like, you of all people should probably stop watching if you hate it that much, that you felt the need to take 2 minutes to make a comment to reply to us, and then go and generate an AI video from a photo that you posted just to try to get what? A laugh?
He generated an AI photo?
He took your army photo and he made like a really dumb, like, I don't even want to get into it, man. Let's just move past it. But my main point,
called me fat.
I know he did.
I'm
and that
hot.
photo, you do not look fat in that photo. Nor do you look fat. I'm not going to turn heel on the show on you. Don't worry. But do you know what I mean? Like, I think some people are starting to catch on too, where like if you're a content creator online or you are someone that was in wrestling before and maybe even ran a company, like look at Eric Bischoff or Vince Russo, like people shit on them all the time. But it's like, bro, if anyone should be legally allowed to talk about wrestling, it should be those guys.
Yeah.
Right? Like, that's why we like the coach. I don't know if you saw that. I don't know if you watched that Eric Bischoff thing recently. It was brilliant, man. I definitely highly recommend you watching it. And I know we shouldn't be promoting another show on here, but at the same time, man, like I'm going to give love to the guys. Eric Bischoff had a great video where he talked about like the state of WWE and AEW and the insights that he had. Very interesting.
Okay.
Definitely worth the watch.
I'm gonna have to check into that for sure.
Yeah.
I wanted to say, you know, as far as those two matches go, I just thought that the women's match I think it's gonna be good at WrestleMania, but the storyline of the 4 tag teams isn't really doing it for me. I like it, but it's not doing much for me. Like, there's not a lot of story there. It's just 4 teams that are battling it out, and it's fine.
It got worse when the Bellas got added.
Yes, I would agree with that. They could have kept it a triple threat. Those guys, they don't need to hog spotlight at this point in their careers, but you know them. They're going to do it. I actually hope that Bayley wins at WrestleMania just to make up for last year. But yeah, but like as far as the Danhausen's hilarious. The ref thing was hilarious. Justice for Kit Wilson, though. I do like that they paired him with The Miz. That to me shows me that that WWE sees that we're reacting well to Kit and that like he's not just gonna be like a Giovanni Vinci where like they changed he got ran over and then just disappeared from the company. He got like offed.
Well, he came back and he had that Italian jacket.
Right.
And he had a match. He lost.
Super cool.
And then he was gone.
Yeah.
Where's Ludwig, by the way? I haven't seen him in a while.
He's are you okay? I was like, are you serious or
okay? Yeah. The real question though, like, because I haven't gone online to go look at whatever's going on, but who are the other two
underneath the mask?
Yeah.
I don't know. No idea.
Like, is one of them Pete Dunne?
That would make sense because he hasn't been on the show for a while.
Is one of them Tyler Breeze? Like,
dude, if one of them's Tyler Breeze, I'm gonna be mad that they need to take the mask off then and let him be Tyler Breeze. I want Prince Pretty back.
Or whatever that other UK wrestler's name is. I forgot his name, but
the guy that was with Pete Dunne, you talking about Tyler Bate?
Yeah, there you go. Tyler. I didn't even mean to mention Tyler Breeze. Yeah, Tyler Bate. But I guess you're a Tyler Breeze fan. I didn't know that.
I do like Prince Pretty, dude. Prince Pretty's the man. He should have had a solid mid-card run. Like, I thought he was a good worker.
Maybe if they bring back the Cruiserweight title.
Maybe. I know that he's doing a lot of up, down stuff with Xavier Woods, and like He actually Prince Pretty does a lot of stuff with WWE 2K, like the 2K series. But
GM mode.
Yes, he does. That's so cool, by the way. Like, imagine like just being a gamer myself. Like, if I got to like be like the front and center, like I don't know, like I don't know. You know what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
But all right, we'll move on to the end. I know we've been here for an hour, so Sami Zayn and Carmelo Hayes. I mean, the match itself was pretty good, but so we'll skip to the end where Carmelo tried to come off the top rope for his finisher, and Sami moved and he landed on his leg, which had been worked over in the match, was hurt in the match, right?
Yeah.
So he immediately started grabbing the leg and yelling out in pain, and the ref was checking on him. Sami went to move in for the attack, and the ref was like, "Hey, back off, I'm checking on him." And he was checking on him in the corner, but he was like set up for the Huluva kick. And as soon as he told the ref, "I'm good," Sami came in and just Huluva kicked his ass and pinned him. Then afterwards, as Sami's like, celebrating, he gets jumped by Trick Williams, who beats him down and, stands tall at the end with little Yachty by his side. So do you have any thoughts? I'll let you talk real quick about, do you have any thoughts on the whole ordeal?
No, I didn't care after that. I kind of just texted you and was like, man, I'm looking forward to our call later.
Yeah, I mean, I hope that Carmelo is still a part of this thing as a triple threat. It makes sense now because he's got beef with Sami and he has history with Trick Williams. It really wouldn't be fair. I mean, Carmelo made a great point. It was rooted in reality earlier in the show. He's like, I've been carrying the show on my back for months. And
facts. Yes.
Yeah. Like his match has been the match of the night for like 2 months now.
And that's why the Gingerbread man should have not been champion.
Yeah, they didn't need to give Sami the title, man. Like they should have just let Sami fight Gunther again or something. I don't know, man.
You know what would have been slick? If they like that segment tonight where Carmelo was like trying to get himself like involved. If like Trick and him just kind of looked at each other and we're kind of just like in that like brother moment where they're just like convincing Sami to make it a triple threat match. And like, let's say Sami was just like, all right, you know what? Fine. You're both on. And after they just both look at each other, they're like, my man,
Yeah.
Then Sami would have been like, did I just get like fooled here? Like,
that's true. They could have went about it that way.
That would have been a little bit more entertaining in my opinion, but I don't work for WWE.
Yeah. But I had a thought while I was watching that match, and I just wanted to share it. And that was like Carmelo Hayes was wearing like mustard yellow pants. Nobody else could make that color look dope except for Carmelo Hayes.
Yeah.
Like,
facts.
It's an ugly ass color, but it looks cool with him, man. But that brings us to the end of SmackDown. Overall, I think definitely the best part of the night was the Pat McAfee swerve.
Yeah.
I thought that was really well done. And regardless of whether you wanted someone else or not, I'm excited to see what happens next. I mean, we've only got a couple weeks. Does that change the way you feel about who's going to win at WrestleMania at all? Oh, I skipped the part where Cody came to the ring, and like after that tag match with Kid Wilson, he hit him with the crossroads, and then which poor Kid Wilson, dude. Like justice for Kid. Leave Kid alone. That was real toxic of you, Cody Rhodes.
He got his spot again. That's a good spot for him.
But he came out, crossroads him, and then he cut a great promo.
Yep.
I thought he cut a great promo.
But the crowd didn't I know it's Randy, that's their hometown guy, but I felt like there was no pop.
Let me tell you why I actually enjoyed. I'll argue against that for this reason. When he came out, they wanted to boo him. They wanted to.
Yeah.
And because he cut such a good promo, and it was Randy's hometown, instead of he wasn't ever going to convert them to cheers, but he converted them to silence, which I thought was actually effective because he stopped them from booing. That's how good his promo was.
That's fair.
Like that was what I thought of it, because I agreed. Like, I was like, wow, they're really silent after this, but it was almost like Cody shut them the hell up. They had nothing. Like, they couldn't find a way out of it.
Yeah, I think my other counter too would be like, I think the fans right now are ultimately changing the way the business is going on. Like, you could put this guy's face, this guy's heel on paper, but the fans don't get behind it, then like it's gonna change the whole thing.
Yeah. Agreed.
Like, I think that was the biggest thing. And I think a lot of the pros and people are part of the business. I think they're not willing to accept that yet. I think they're a little bit stubborn on it. We're like, no, this is the business. This is how it goes, like face versus heel. But I think like in today's world, like the heels are just more fun to cheer for, because you had all these badass characters that we had when we grew up. Like they want to cheer for them too. Like, we were talking about this last time, this whole like Triple H hate. When Triple H was the heel, he was such a badass. It didn't matter if he was the B+ character. He went up against your favorite guys. And believe it or not, for people that say he has the golden shovel, he has about 13 or 12 losses at WrestleMania.
Yeah. Triple H is put people over for a long time. It's just that he didn't put a few guys over, and nobody will let that go. Like, I will say the Booker T thing was pretty jacked up. Like, he should have lost.
I hated that. Yeah.
So, like,
even Maven.
Yeah, I'll say Scott Steiner. Even though Steiner was not in good shape by the time he got to WWE, he was very hurt. Which by the way, don't let me get off this podcast. I told Scott Steiner I would do push-ups on this podcast, so I'm gonna sign off with those at the end. I'm gonna do some.
Oh, really? Did he say? Did he say he would hop on the show? Oh,
he didn't know. I didn't message him yet, but like I told him, I commented, because he followed us. For anybody that's watching, Scott Steiner followed us on Twitter, and I was like, he posted about following some freaks, and I was like, I'll do some push-ups on our show in your honor. So I'll probably send him a clip of me doing some push-ups. I'll do some too. That'll be how I try and get him on the show. But
I'll do some too with you.
All right, cool. Let's knock out 10 here at the end. But so as far as Cody, Cody said that he didn't know if he could be a heel anymore because he's a dad now. I thought it was a really good promo, and he also said, like, but he's hearing the voices in his head now, and he's also like, "What are they gonna do? Fire me? Look how well that worked out for you last time." Thought that was a pretty interesting line.
I don't want to take away from that one, but then some knucklehead online is going to be like, "Oh, they did that with AEW with MJF when he said, 'What are you going to do? Fire me?'" And like, whatever. It delivered.
There's only so many words in the English language, guys. Yeah, like, but
unless you say it in Spanish, like Liv Morgan did last week. Earlier in the week. Then
that's fair. But so ultimately, I'm not sure where they're gonna go. And so I wanted to, say this is a Pat McAfee stuff. Does that move you as far as who you think's gonna win? I didn't let you answer, but
so Pat posted something after the show on X. And he basically promised the IWC that if Randy Orton does not win at WrestleMania, that he's going to disappear. Breaking news, guys. Not breaking news. It was reported. I think he posted that like an hour ago.
Pat McAfee did?
Yes.
Interesting.
Here it is. In the video on X, he wrote, "I will make a deal with the IWC now. If Randy does not win at Mania, I will never be seen or heard on wrestling television again." And he tagged everyone. He tagged Busted Open, Fightful. Oh man, this is gonna be entertaining.
Pat McAfee is he's a fan. And he knows what he's doing, dude. That's why I thought this would be good.
Yeah, and I love that he tagged like a bunch of people that do podcasts that are like with.
Damn it, we got to get on that list
one day. But these are all ex-stars, right? Like Busted Open, like that's like Bully Ray and like those guys. Even behind the turnbuckles with like Coach and Vince Russo, like all big names.
So yeah, he also tagged Fightful. So unless Pat McAfee is fully ready to retire from the world of wrestling, because I believe him. I believe that if Randy doesn't win, he'll never show up again.
I hope that's not the case, man. Yeah, because I don't. Because then that just tells you that Randy's going to lose. I actually don't know who's going to win that match. I think if you
Randy's going to win. I think he's going to win.
I don't know. I just don't feel like this WWE does take risks. I would hope that they prove me wrong, but I just feel like they're trying to chase this like imaginary record that Cody now, main event, WrestleMania, 2-1.
I mean,
2-2.
Yeah, I don't know. Well, he's 3-1, right? Or yeah, he's won every year. Well, no, he lost to John Cena.
Well, he's 2-2. Yeah, 2-2. So like, I'm sure WWE probably wants to make him 3-2. I don't know. I have nothing against it. I'm just saying that I don't want the match to be that predictable. I'll ask you this after, but like for me, again, who knows if they're going off the rip here, but would you be against Oba and Brock main eventing night one? Because I know that's been discussed.
I'm not against it, but that would be interesting because like, who do you have main event then out of Punk, Roman, and Randy, Cody?
I think it's Punk Roman night 2.
So I mean, you could do that, but I don't think WWE will. I really don't.
Exactly, because I don't see why the WWE title can't open up the show on night 1.
Night 1 opens the show. Interesting. I mean, especially if where I'll say I like that if Randy's gonna win, because Randy can then walk around. Like you can do skits at WrestleMania where Randy's like walking around with the title and he's like basically like bow at my feet type shit. Like I'm Randy Orton, like I'm the GOAT now. Like John Cena, like I'm gonna break his record. Blah blah blah.
Yeah,
you can do fun stuff with that. Like Randy just like almost being like King Orton type of. Emperor Orton type of like storyline where he's like full of himself and power, especially. So where I like this Pat McAfee stuff is like they just started it today. There's 2 weeks till Mania. I want them to keep it going. I want Pat and Orton to go on like this crazy generational run now where he's just running over people and he's like, screw your small wrestlers, screw like this new age, hipster bullshit. I'm Randy Orton and, I'm what wrestling is supposed to be about and like keep it going.
Let me give you a plot twist. Let's say Randy doesn't win and we get like Cody getting Ethan Page and Ricky Starks to create the Nightmare Factory. Then what?
I mean, what do you mean? Like, I mean, Cody would have to probably fight his way back up, right? So even if he gets the Nightmare Factory, don't let him just go back right for the title immediately. Like, I don't know how you would write
build them up,
but yeah, build him up. Like, let him like, even if like, like you'd have to probably have him cross paths with someone like, maybe for some reason like they do like a Brad split after WrestleMania and Cody gets sent to Raw. That'd be a great way to kind of shake it up. And then Cody is like chasing Punk maybe or Roman, whoever's got the title over there. And then it makes a lot more sense that Cody's a heel now because he's fighting, chasing a face champion or he's just establishing himself on Raw. Maybe like, let's say Oba beats Brock okay, here's a great foil for Oba, the Nightmare Factory. Like Cody Rhodes, trying to hold Oba back. I don't know. They could do a lot of stuff with all of that. I also don't. I'd like it to be like one thing that's bothering me now with Cody is that he's never not around the title, which I understand. Like John Cena went through that phase. All these top guys, they go through that phase where the top titles, all that matters to them, and it's all they're doing. But eventually, here, I'd like Cody to have a few feuds, or when he loses the title, like that aren't WWE title specific. Like, tell some stories without the title, dude.
He also said, he was quoted on this, but he even said he's like tired of doing the long feuds. Like he had the long feud with like Seth, he had the long feud with like Drew. It does get dragged out. He had it with Roman. I personally feel like they should just get rid of the brand split.
Yeah.
Because I think the quality of matches will be much better. There will be more people you can like mix it up with. I mean, the other thing too, like it's coming. It happens every year after WrestleMania, but it's either the drafts, they start cutting talent. That's going to happen pretty soon. I'm sure there's going to be some people that we're going to be like, oh man, they cut them. But then we're going to know, like, I mean, it's kind of good they cut them because they'll be able to go do their thing somewhere else because they weren't utilizing them. But it's going to become one of those things where it's like, oh, now they're gone and now you're cheering for them, But yeah.
Yeah. Well, I think that'll wrap us up for tonight's show.
We were so close to doing 1 hour, but we just love reminiscing. So
yeah, I know, right? Jesus. But all right, before we go, I'm going to do some push-ups. Let me change his camera. I'm gonna just do 10 push-ups, knock this out. All right, here we go.
All right, do your 10 for Scott Steiner. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. There we go.
All right. It's for you, Big Papa Pump. All right. Oh, it's not straight. It's okay. All right.
No, it's good. We saw it.
All right. 10 push-ups for Scotty Steiner, Big Papa Pump, the Big Bad Booty Daddy. All right. Now do it for Professionally Profane Pro Wrestling. Signing off, myself and Fayyaz. Everybody, appreciate you for being here. And as always, long live professional wrestling, my friends. Peace.
He did it.
We did it.